everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am the one and only infamous Kentucky Yankee without a doubt. Today we're going to continue work on the 1972 Suzuki T500 Titan. Shout out to everyone in the Suzuki forums who has been helping me out on this project. I really appreciate it, guys. Without your help, it would be much more difficult. Just finished up a series of videos on this parts washer right here, and I owe it to my subscribers to show them how it worked out, how it works, so I'm going to incorporate it in this video. This is the before picture of our cylinders. I want to take a real good, accurate before and after, because I have confidence in this machine that it's going to do well. Machine's all ready to go. It's heating up. You can hear it. Look at there. Look at the inside of that thing. Beautiful machine. She's up and running. Can you see the steam coming out of it? I set the temperature to 180. Made it hot. Remember the leak right here? It used to run water right out of there. Run it out. No more. It's all dry. I don't even have a seal on there. You know, it came with a seal. I don't even have one. Don't need it. No leaks. Our skimmer works beautifully. Our basket's spinning beautifully. Look at that. Isn't that nice? After being in the parts washer for about 2 hours, they look pretty darn good to me. I still need to do a little cleaning. No surprise. You'll always have to do a little bit, but it cleaned in the fins so nice. I mean, everything, you know, it's effortless because I just throw it in the machine, let it do the work while I do something else, so I'm pretty pleased with this. I need to clean up the exhaust ports a little bit. They're still scungy. Maybe with a wire wheel I need to get that broken stud out right there. I am going to hone these cylinders and then throw them back in the washer for a little while. Stupid broken stud! Just welded a washer and nut onto that stud. Now we'll see if we can twist it on out of there. Easier than expected. Here's the box of parts that came with our machine, and I'm looking for these right here. We'll deck them, clean them, polish them, maybe not polish them, check them out. That's the other stuff in there, in case you're curious. If you remember, our gear shift would not slide out of the case, and that's because the end is bent, and I don't want to mess the case up. I bought a new gear shift shaft. I'm just going to cut the old one off. Now let's see if it'll come out of there. Easy peasy. Nice. It's too bad a guy couldn't cut these splines off and weld it to this other side. I'm sure you could, but I'm not going to. Got a new one. Now it's time for all these scungy, dirty, filthy parts to go in the parts washer, and we'll have a look at them when they come out. And they are filthy. Just filthy. Hopefully this will be the last time we see all these parts filthy dirty. Everything was going fine, the machine was running great, just buzzing right along nicely, and I kept smelling this plastic burning smell, and I thought, man, I don't know what that is. So I lowered the thermostat on a little bit. I thought, well, maybe it's just too hot. I just painted it. I don't know. No big deal. So I let her run. I went upstairs, hung out a while, watched some YouTube, and then she shut down. It's got a timer on it, so I thought, well, maybe it's been an hour. It didn't seem that long, but maybe it's been an hour. I opened her up to check my parts, and I was inspecting them to see how they are coming along, which pretty nicely, by the way, if you will notice. Look at that. They're on their way. They're on their way. They're looking good. And while I was looking at these parts, I heard tick, 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 tick. And it was my timer up here, and I thought, uh-oh, if the timer's ticking, it should be running. Opened up our breaker box here, and nearly fell to the ground with tears to find this. All melded. So this is where the breaker fits into right here, and it has just destroyed, melted. It's melded my plastic. And these are the two, ears on the end that go into the breaker. So things aren't looking too good. What I think happened, first of all, is there was corrosion on those terminals from where this thing was kind of nastified, and I did not take the time to clean it like I should. Maybe built up too much resistance, caused the plastic to melt, and this catastrophe to happen. Taking time to sleep on it, I decided I should rig this up and carry on with what I plan to do on this video for this week. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I just took these two legs here, I guess that's what they call them. Remember, these were on plastic so that you can screw it to the back of the box. But I just took them off, screwed them on there, I cleaned them up so they would have a good clean, so we wouldn't have the same issue, that is. I did get a new breaker. It's on its way too because it's burnt up pretty good. Do I have to say don't do this at home? It should be quite obvious. You should not do this at home. I should not do this at home. It is unplugged, believe it or not. I'm happy with that repair right there. That should work just fine. Timer's on. Let's see what happens if we shut the door. I haven't been electrocuted yet. Alright. Whoop. Ah, yeah. We're up and running again. Woohoo! Temporary fix. Temporary fix. Let's not everybody get excited. We'll just get this one job done and then move on. Look, our basket's turning. Everything's in good shape. Nice new clean cardboard and clean parts on top of it. That thing did a great job, I think. It cleaned it all off. The soap, it leaves a soapy residue, which I probably need to rinse it off with water or something, but I know the aluminum won't rust, but some of the metal would, and I don't really want to do that. I washed it off with brake clean, but still kind of left the residue. But you can see how good it cleaned the parts up. I don't want to trick you. I washed these just with brake clean because I didn't want to lose any of the parts and pieces and take it all apart. So those are all in good shape. But the rest of the stuff was in the machine and got cleaned up. Look at those fins. I mean, it cleaned it up, I think, really well. Let me try and get you there's a good light. See there? I'm very happy with it, and I'm happy that we have most of our parts clean. Look over here to our east, and there's a few, miscellaneous pieces left that I just thought be easier just to clean by hand. We're getting new pistons, so those don't need to be cleaned up. Let's get these carburetors apart so I can start ordering a kit if it needs it, or see how bad they are, what we need inside of there. I don't like ordering parts till I see what's wrong with this thing. It's got a marking here. It says P10. Let me show it to you. What do you guys suppose that means? P10. Looks like permanent marker, but that's weird, right? What does that mean? P10. So we'll just separate them first. I learned this. This turns the fuel... That's brittle. Look at that. Holy crap-oly. Wow. All right, where was I? I learned that this turns the fuel valve on and off. There's a diaphragm and a fuel valve, and this turns it on and off through vacuum. Isn't that interesting? I learned that off of a Suzuki Facebook group. So let's just take this cap back off, which it was off before, as you know, if you've been following along. I like the way the screw heads look. They have not been tampered with much. This thing hasn't been took apart, 50 times. They look nice. I like that. My guess is this machine did not ever have ethanol gas in it because it hasn't run for so long. Let's see. Ha 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 ha! Looky, looky. Wow. What a treat to find the carburetor in this good of condition. I can't believe it. That's awesome. I mean, these things, this one anyways, looks really good. Really good. The float's all nice and free. Looking good. Carburetor number 2. Let's see what it looks like in here. I presume the same way. Door number 2. Woo. Uh-oh. Not terrible. Pretty good shape, actually. About the same as the first one. Maybe a little bit. This is in good shape. These carburetors are really looking good. Nice. We can disassemble one together. Let's get this jet out. We'll take our 2 air adjustment screws out. I guess that's idle. And our needle, or whatever the heck adjustment here. I don't know all the names to everything, alright? I just don't. Nice. A spring here with our little air adjustment screw. And the big one. Needle and seat. It's a 9mm socket I'm using. Nice. Our little gasket here. This choke has me concerned. It's not moving up and down. I don't know if it's froze up in here or out here where it's rusted. So I'm going to unbolt it here and see what happens. Let's see. I think it's froze out here. Yeah. Nice. Man, these carbs are in good shape. Like really good shape. Actually. Yeah. Just froze on the outside with a rust. No biggie. Please allow me to show you something I noticed early on in a video. Do you see that inside there? It's all scratched and scored. This one carburetor. I don't know why. I don't understand that. See it? I mean, it's scratched in there. I don't get it. Weird. I think I'm still going to try and use it. In the chem dip, these carburetors will go. Looks like we'll have to do one at a time for an overnight soaking. There we go. Nice. I'll throw this float in there. Why not? That's my progress for this week. I can order some parts now. It takes a while to get parts in. A lot of them are coming from the UK. Vapor blasting, is that a possibility? I don't know, need to think on it. Some parts have arrived, so we can continue to work on this thing next week too. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week and get a little bit more done on this bike.